What's up, everyone? I'm John Laird from 101X Homegrown. Today I'm with Taylor from Quiet Company. We've got a show coming up December 3rd at the Mohawk. It's the final Quiet Company show ever, unless you guys pull like any,
Unless it's yeah, unless
yeah,
it's not.
yeah, unless it's like any other band that gets a little long in the tooth who are like, we're quitting, and then some
Yeah.
down the road, it's like, actually, we're back.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see what
mean,
happens.
anything is possible with the Lord, John.
That's fair. So yeah, that show December 3rd at the Mohawk, Rocket Boys on the bill, Ramvella and the Easy Targets also on the bill. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, the farewell, the goodbye. What kind of led you guys to sort of want to hang it up, at least if not forever, temporarily?
Um, yeah, man, I started realizing uh after the fact a little bit that I recorded the first demos on my 4 track that would eventually be the first like Quiet Community record like 20 years ago. So it's like half of my life has been in this. And I think for me, I just kind of started feeling like this growing suspicion that maybe I'd kind of gone as far as I could go with it, uh, creatively and otherwise. And um, coming back from the pandemic and stuff, it was just like we were having a real hard time, kind of like finding our footing again, and get back into our routine. And everyone have so much of their own shit going on, and I think it was just like we didn't quite survive the pandemic, and it just
Fair.
took us a little longer to kind of realize it than it did some other band. Um, so like I just kind of felt like creatively too, I think I was wanting to go in a little bit different direction than the other guys were wanting to, and it kind of started feeling like, well, I can either kind of try to drag these guys like kicking and screaming towards a purpose that they don't necessarily naturally feel, in the hopes that they thank me for it later. Or I could kind of compromise around what I was wanting to do, which I also didn't want to do. Or we could just kind of do something different. And that felt like the best of those three options.
Different it is then.
So yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So do you already have something else kind of in the works then?
Yeah, I've got a new band called French Hips. So please follow us on Instagram /French Hips. Um, but yeah, and I've started I started a little cover band with some buddies, playing a bunch of like 80s and 90s alternative stuff for fun. So and which all the guys in Quiet Company are kind of all playing in projects together going forward for the most part. So it's like it's all very amicable, and we're all still very, very entwined in each other's lives. It's just this is kind of not going to be the thing for a while,
Nothing wrong with that.
and maybe ever.
Uh, when you look back on all those 20 years of Quiet Company, do you have a particular show that stands out as like the premier Quiet Company show?
Um, I can think of like three moments in particular that stick out in terms of live shows. Our CD, our record release for Your Husband the Ghost, we did at Barracuda, rest in peace. And that show, I just felt like was just really awesome. Everything kind of came together. We had our horn players out, and um, I want to say Anna from Born Again Virgin was singing with us that night, which those are all actually going to be the case for this show as well. She'll be there with us, and we will have our horn players back for this upcoming show. But like that was just a really great show. We put a bill together that was really awesome. Barracuda was always like like that was like one of my favorite places ever to play, and uh, so that one was great. The first time we played with the Toadies in Houston at House of Blues kind of that kind of broke the Houston market for us. And that was just like an amazing show. Toadies are one of my favorite bands, so it's like them putting us on a handful of shows throughout the years has always been like super amazing. And uh and that show, we got a lot of like really diehard fans from that show. And the other show that really sticks out is one time we played a show that was a benefit for the School for the Deaf, and it was down at the ND, and where they had put all these installations into the ND, like a really resonant wood floor over the dance floor, and all the kids had like sound sensitive light bracelets and necklaces and all kinds of things. They had, obviously they had people signing, translating on both sides of the stage, and everything was very like light and sound sensitive and reactive. Like they had put on all these things and everything. And so it was weird. We were playing a show for like a room full of deaf kids, and obviously music is is auditory. So
Right.
but I just remember there was this moment where we used to play this song every night that ends with a bunch of like everyone's singing these this big moment. And usually I'll like grab the mic and I'll stick it out in the crowd and they'll sing really loud. And I was just kind of on autopilot. I wasn't really thinking about the fact that like these kids are deaf and they don't know what I'm like. They're not actually like experiencing this the way that people normally experience a rock show, but they were so stoked to be there. And I grabbed the mic at that moment and I put it out in the crowd. And about halfway through that gesture, I kind of realized, I was like, what am I doing? Like, they're not going to know what to do or how to react. But I put it out there and they just erupted like in this very visceral, like they all just were like, yeah. And it was just like it was louder than anything happening on stage. It was like overpowering, like this energy that came out of these kids who were just so like into just being there. And that was such like I said, visceral, like powerful moment that I just did not expect. And that ended up being like the first thing that came to mind when you were like, what are your favorite moments from playing live? And I was like, yeah, that one was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Like it just like the energy that came
non-conventional,
out of those
but
kids.
sounds
Yeah,
great.
it was great.
All right. You got a favorite Quiet Company song?
Um, well, they're a little bit like your children, in that you always favor some over the others. And but I definitely like, for playing live, the Easy Confidence is one of my favorites to play. And it's still one of my favorites to play, which is why we kind of played it at every show forever. And eventually some people kind of were like sick of it, but I wasn't, so I made everyone keep playing it for a long time. And I am kind of bummed. I'm really not sure what my emotions are going to be like on the third.
I was gonna
Like,
ask. I'm sure
yeah,
it's gonna be a weird ride.
yeah. I mean, in terms of like songwriting, I have, there's a handful of things that I'm really pretty proud of still. Um, yeah, on Ex-Husbands and Wives is one. Aloha on Corners and Shapes is probably one. Um, there's a lot of stuff on that third record, We're All Where We Belong, that I was really proud of, especially like lyrically. And I think that's the record that really like stuck with the most people the most, because there weren't a whole lot of records about not believing in God anymore. So we kind of
On
got
the
into a
flip
real
side, do you
niche
have a
market.
song where you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have put that one out? Do
Oh
you have
yeah, I got a
a
lot of them. Do
favorite?
you want to? I'm consumed with the regret, John.
Fair enough.
we I really shouldn't have done that Mariah Carey cover. I didn't have the voice for it.
Now I want the Mariah Carey cover in the set on December 3rd. Just
no, it's not going to happen. We covered her Christmas song. All I Want for Christmas Is You, and I love that song so fucking much. I'm sorry. Can I say I can come over?
we're not on the radio. It's
Okay,
fine.
cool. Christmas. I wasn't sure.
Also, Quiet Company's done after this, so we don't have anything.
Yeah, so who cares? No consequences.
Can't cancel you now.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that Mariah Carey cover, actually that whole Christmas EP, I'm not like the first Christmas EP, I wasn't like stoked on. The second Christmas EP I really like. So there's that. Baby It's Cold War Outside. That's the one that I dig. The more recent one. And but yeah, I remember we put out a few versions of things that as like bonus songs that we had recorded at home, and I felt like I was kind of pressured into putting them out because like people who would be we did this thing with Groove Shark, and when we released that third record, and so we had all these new people in camp kind of like throwing ideas, and so it was kind of like, well, if we give Amazon Prime some bonus songs, like they'll give you better placement in the platform. And so it's like, okay, well, we could record this version of this and put it out in the hopes that they will give us like some kind of preferential treatment. And so I was like, but I don't really want to release that. Like, I'm not like proud of that. And then, but it's good for us. It's good for us. And I got, we put it out, and then it's like, we didn't get anything from it. Like there's no benefit from it whatsoever. And so it's always been the lesson. Like I've done so many things because someone else said, hey, this is smart to do, or you just have to be constantly creating content now, which is a funny word to just that. When you say content for people like us, what you're really probably talking about is art, but content is this fun word that we've all agreed to use so that it kind of like devalues further like the thing that we spend our entire lives and energy cultivating. So that's my soapbox moment.
Just make a little more.
Just make some more shit and give it away for free. Because so there were a few things like that where I was just like, I really wish that wasn't out there. And most of them are pretty hard to find now at this point. So only, people had them and forgot about them probably, and who cares, but,
yeah. So for the show itself on the 3rd, are you guys going all out? Is it mega set, just everything, or is it more of a tightly curated 45 minutes or something?
No, we're gonna play a longer set than we ever have. And I'm just really hoping my voice and my conviction holds out, for the whole thing. But yeah, we put some kind of deeper cut stuff on there that we haven't really played, and I kind of wish, I don't know, it's one of those things where you get to the end and you're like, oh well, I've always wanted to do this and I've always wanted to do this, but it's like, man, there's really not enough time like in the day to do everything you want to do. So you kind of just go, okay, well, we can do these things. Like these are things we can do. So I think the set's going to be good. There's going to be some stuff where people, have been asking to hear it, and so we were able to put it in. And then some stuff is just like, I thought about, I think that the temptation was to play a bunch of old songs, and I kind of get that, but at the same time, like, I don't want to play old songs, like I don't really like those songs as much.
It's so the end.
So, but we are playing. Yeah, I want to play what I want to play. Like I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some of that, but not like a ton. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that it's just kind of like, hey, these are the songs that we really like playing or have like some kind of other emotional significance for us for that night or whatever. So yeah, hopefully it's it's all gonna come together. I think it was. We got, like I said, we got horn players playing with us again, and Anna from Born Again Virgin is going to be singing with us for some of the set at least, and I think the set list we're putting together is going to be pretty powerful. So yeah, we'll see.
It's going to be good. Come on out, everybody. December 3rd at the Mohawk. Again, Rocket Boys and Ramvella and the Easy Targets are also on the bill. More details can be had at 101x.com. If you're 21 and up, you can enjoy Karbach Brewing Company and Jack Daniel's specials. Otherwise, bug Taylor on socials and request your songs now.
Yeah, it's too late to get him in, but go ahead.
Yeah, he loves that. Just hit him up, ask him for extra content and things like that. We will happily deliver. It's going to be great.
Why not? Taylor, why should it be any different now?
Yeah, it's not ending. It's not over for you. Sorry. Things will continue on as normal. Anyway, Taylor, thanks for joining me. I'll see you on December 3rd at the Mohawk.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks so much for having me, man. We'll see you then.
Peace.
Peace.